Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, dear brothers and sisters. We are broadcasting live on SafeerTV from the holy mosque of Kufa. Before the break, we were discussing about how do we raise our children with the Islamic values, especially Muslims living abroad, outside Muslim communities, where it's very difficult and it's very easy for non-Islamic morals and values to be infiltrated within the child or within the family itself, through the media or interaction with other children in schools or other areas. And a good point is that many parents who are very busy with their work, and many of us have grown up being at home with the TV as being the babysitter. So a good thing for us Muslims is to filter, try as much as possible to filter for our children what they absorb, because children are truly like
sponges.
Sponges, yes, excellent. They are sponges. So whatever they see, they absorb within themselves, and they are truly like copycats. Whatever they see, they do. Whatever they hear, they say. Whatever they hear, they think. So it is very important to have, within the variety of channels that exist in the global mainstream, certain channels that a parent may be assured that his child may sit and view and actually benefit from it, acquire some valuable ethics and morals out of Rasulullah and Ahlul Bayt salamullah alayhum, and be able to continue with the fundamentals, so he may absorb those information and build fundamentals. And such of those channels is SafeerTV, the channel that you're viewing right now. SafeerTV is a channel with no political aim, is an independent channel sponsored by donations, which is basically you, our dear brothers and sisters. And SafeerTV has the past 5 or 6 months provided us with different kind of educational lectures concerning Islam and our society, kids programs, both being educational and entertaining for adults. Even some adults may find it funny. So many brothers may like to even watch kids programs, and even live podcasts, that you may be able to call, for example, and send your salams to the imams and the holy sites such as Karbala or Kufa. And SafeerTV is in need of your support in order to continue broadcasting. And we are under a campaign. And this is one of the purposes of this program tonight, is that we are in the campaign for fundraising for SafeerTV, campaign called Thirst for Change. And we are in need of donations in order to continue the maintenance and covering the expenses for the broadcasting. And again, as I said earlier, the gross, I would say, amount is £4,000 per month. 40,000 pounds per month. And that is the estimated amount that is needed to keep the channel broadcasting. And my dear viewers, please, I urge you, if you could pick up your phone and dial 0203 5151 110, 0203 5151 110, and with your support we may be able to continue broadcasting and benefiting our jama'as or even non-Muslims with propagating Islam and informing the people and informing our children and ourselves about Islam and what turbulates around Islam, what consists within our society, from aspect of morals, values, information, history about prophets, our holy prophet, the seal of the prophets, and the holy imams, his Ahlul Bayt, salamullah alayhum ajma'in. And would like to continue in our discussion. We were discussing about the Holy Prophet and his attributes and characteristics. And one great aspect we were discussing about was the children that we grow up in our society have to be well educated about Islamic morals and ethics, because nowadays so many misinformation about Islam are surrounding our environment, and it's very easily for someone to grow up and without a correct knowledge to get misguided. And even us as Muslims, brothers and sisters, we are beacons of Islam. So it is our duty to prove and constantly be an example of Islam through our actions, through our behaviors within the society, Islamic and non-Islamic. My dear brother, I would like to furthermore discuss about our Holy Prophet alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. How was the Holy Prophet alayhi salam before his prophethood and after?
There's an amazing occurrence that took place during the life of the Prophet when he was 20 years old. Him and a group of Meccans decided to come together to form the Hilf al-Fudul. Hilf al-Fudul actually roughly translated to the League of Virtues. And they came together in order to promote a virtuous character, to promote virtues in the Meccan society. And what they were doing, they were like superheroes. This is how I see it. They were like superheroes. How so? That they were there to stand up for the weak. They were there to stand up They were there to stand against injustice. And there's many stories that took place where people would call upon their services, the Hilf al-Fudul, in order to protect them from either bad trades or other actions. And there's one story that even after the Prophet passed away, Imam Hussein alayhi salam was in Medina, and the person that Muawiyah appointed at the time, he was having a dispute with him. And what happened was that Imam Hussein called upon the Hilf al-Fudul, and Ibn Zubair came, and he said that I will stand for your rights even if I die. And so this Hilf al-Fudul that was established during the time of the Prophet shows the kind of life that the Prophet was leading before, that he was very active. It wasn't just that there was aspects that mention that he was a shepherd. He was taking animals out into the open spaces and reflecting, but he was also very active within his society, within his community. And this is something for us also, for our youth to take note, and for adults of all ages, that we can take an active role in society, whether it be big or small, whether it be helping a charity, whether it be standing up and going for marches, or anything that we feel that there's an injustice, that we actually raise our voice and that we stand up against the oppression the same way that Imam Hussein alayhi salam stood. We can also stand. We don't have to be inactive. We don't have to just say, oh, okay, this is bad. We can maybe do something and change the way that our society works. And this is exactly what the Prophet did in his 20s. Something else that inspires me about the Prophet is this thing that he came together, and he was amongst the best of the societies. He was in the best tribe, the Quraysh. But that didn't stop him from coming together with the other Meccans to stop any injustice taking place. And there's cases of Bedouins also who were emigrating into Mecca, who were suffering from some injustice, whether people were overcharging them. They were there to make sure that they received their dues. And this is something that happened during the life of the Prophet. That is something that can be a lesson for all of us. And there's many, I applaud a lot of the university societies. They come together to create events, but they also there's something recently I saw, the hungry for justice. This is exactly something like the Prophet would have stood for, that people are hungry within our society, and our Muslim brothers and sisters are coming together to feed those who are in need. And this is something I think we can all take a lesson from and all try and implement, even on a small scale and into a very big scale, whether that may be entering politics or entering into journalism, or helping out with the channel. So all of these things we can take lesson from the life of the Prophet.
And one way of supporting such cause is helping channels such as SafeerTV, which provide to us such educational programs, or even entertaining, with the consideration of being morally and ethically acceptable within the Islamic values. And our dear viewers, again, I would please you to try and help SafeerTV continue in this path, the path of educating and informing Muslims and non-Muslims alike, by picking up your phones and dialing on 0203 51 51 110 and contributing. Every person, any kind of contribute would be, it's the intention that matters. Some people may be in a better situation than others. Some may afford more, some less. The important thing is that what we can do, and even a single step is a form of action. So our dear brothers and sisters, any kind of contribution you would be able to donate to SafeerTV, so they may be able to continue. And one of the aims of the campaign Thirst for Change is to bring 400 donators to contribute, to donate £100 for short-term coverage. And also we are in need of your support. We can set you up with direct debits from as low as £10 a month. So our channel may be able to come up with the expenses and be able to continue in their aims for the channel, different programs they would like to broadcast or launch. And if you have any questions, you may also go visit our website www.safeertv.com/donate, and inshallah you might get some information if you require. And my dear brother would like to move on our discussion about our Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And once again, we would like to send our condolences to the Imam of our time, Imam Sahib Asr wa Zaman, because it is indeed one of the difficult times for our Imam, both because of the day of the martyrdom and both because of the current age that we live in. It is such that our Imam is in need of us and we are in need of our Imam. So my dear brothers and sisters, if you could find it possible to recite Dua al-Faraj for our Holy Imam, that would be very appreciated from all of us Muslims. Thank you very much. Now moving on about our discussion. We've discussed thoroughly about our Holy Prophet, certain situations in his life before his declaration of prophethood, a bit from the aspect of his characteristics, and now concerning his morals. How did the Holy Prophet ﷺ use his morals to change society?
This is a very good question. Before we go into that question, I just would like to mention to the viewers that we're right here broadcasting live from Masjid Kufa, and it's now about 1 in the morning. The masjid is empty, but there's so much peace and tranquility in the area. I feel so calm sitting here right now. And we were looking at a couple of hadith before we came. Yeah, it's a little bit cold, but one hadith that I remember reading is that that if a Muslim was to pray one wajib salah here in Masjid al-Kufa, it's equivalent to a hajj or 1,000 rak'ah of salah. And if a person was to pray a recommended salah, it would be equivalent to an umrah. And even if someone was just sitting in the mosque, not praying, not doing any dhikr, it was even considered ibadah. And I'm sitting here, I'm really appreciating this tranquility and this feeling. It's a beautiful masjid to be sitting in.
Indeed, it is spectacular.
And inshallah, we pray that you all will be able to come to Kufa, to Karbala, to Najaf, inshallah, very soon. So just answering this question, about how did the Prophet change the society with his morals. We've heard a few stories about the morals of the Prophet that other people saw within him, that helped them to realize that Islam was the correct religion, that he was the messenger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that it's not possible for a person to have such good character and not be inspired by the divine, by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the way that the Prophet did this was showing this through his leadership. That normally with some leaders, they sit back and they expect everyone to do the work for them. Whereas the Prophet, he was very active with his companions and with those he had just met. So I remember one story that I saw is that when the Prophet was traveling with his companions, the companion said to him, let us do the work and you rest. And the Prophet said, it's not nice for someone to be in a privileged position. Allah does not like the one who takes this privileged position. So he worked and he gathered firewood from the desert with the rest of the companions. And within leadership, and he was equal, and this is a sign of a great leader, that he didn't put himself above everyone else. And this is something that now other societies have realized in the Prophet and in the Imams how they led such communities. Even we see from the letters of Imam Ali alayhi salam in Nahjul Balagha, how he advises the people that he's sending out to Egypt, how he advised his companions to treat the followers or the people of a nation. And the great well-known tradition, man is either your equal in faith or your brother in humanity. Such a great, powerful line. And Imam Ali's teacher was none other than the Holy Prophet. So we see that the Prophet led in such a way that he changed the society with his leadership and with his moral characteristics. So even we see that there's a very well-known story that he was walking in the market and a woman would throw rubbish on him. One day she didn't throw, so he went to see how she was, and then he found out that she was ill, and he said, I've come to visit you and see how you are. And she noticed such love from the Prophet that he didn't do anything just for show. He actually felt love for all. And the way that he did that was through his good characteristic. And there's a great tradition that says good manners sow love, so yuthbitul muwadda. And so this muwadda is one, the actions of the Prophet went straight into the heart of believer and non-believer. And this is how he changed society. It was a society full of unchastity, it became chaste. It was full of filth, it became pure because of the Prophet's actions. And first the Prophet showed these characteristics within himself, and the other people followed. So this is one way.
Excellent, brother. Excellent. I agree absolutely. It is truly magnificent observing the life of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and in so many ways we see how a human being can reach the level such like the Prophet of truly being a man that someone could depend and love and appreciate and respect, and how every single Muslim should have Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam as his role model, and so as Ahlul Bayt. Ahlul Bayt are beacons of Rasulullah. So how can we in our everyday life be virtuous and moral in today's society?
It's very difficult, because I feel like a lot of the time, someone once said to me, it was very beautifully put, that a lot of the time in today's society we have the wrong role models. We look up to the wrong people. Knowingly or unknowingly, we may say that we believe in the Prophet, we believe in X, Y and Z, but a lot of the times we see where our heart is. So sometimes we see that we're following a particular personality or a particular famous individual or celebrity, and we look up and we see that people follow the celebrity in their way of dress, the way of speaking, the way of like how they lead their daily lives. Or even if it's their friends, a lot of the time we look up to, or we compare ourselves to the people around us. And we say, for example, if we have friends who are non-Muslim, then sometimes we might say, well, you know, alhamdulillah, my friend doesn't pray and I pray. Or this person, he's Muslim, I do X amount of Quran, he doesn't do any Quran. This person doesn't do this, I do it. But a lot of the times what we've done is we've chosen the wrong role models, whereas Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the best of creation, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was sent to, like we mentioned earlier, to complete the noble traits. He came to complete the makarim al-akhlaq, the glorious characteristics or moral virtues. And so a lot of the time within our societies we need to introspect. We need to look within and see within ourselves who are we looking at and who are we comparing ourselves to. If we're comparing ourselves to someone lower than us, then we're going to feel a bit of pride within ourselves, and it's one of the vices, pride. But if we compare ourselves to the Prophet, we can never come near to the Prophet, who was such an amazing characteristic. We've only touched on a short amount of his life, and we've seen how amazing the Prophet is. So if this is one way that we can lead our lives within society, is looking up, always looking up, looking at the Imams, looking at the Prophet and seeing how did they lead their lives. What did they do on a daily basis? And we see the Imams and the Prophet. I mean, we hear traditions from Imam Sajjad alayhi salam that he used to carry big sacks of wheat and food on his back, that he had bruises during the night. And there's one story that really touched my heart with regards to Imam Sajjad, that he always used to give food to his cousin. And during the day, the cousin would say, look at the Imam, he's helping this person, that person, but he never helps me, I'm his own blood. After the Imam died, the cousin realized the man that used to come every night to his house was his own cousin. And during the day, he used to curse him. But the Imam, this is the quality and the characteristics of the Ahlul Bayt. Obviously, their grandfather is the Holy Prophet, that even if someone is cursing them, spreading rumors about them, they never went against their family. They never. And this is something for our own lives. We can, if we look up, then inshallah we'll climb up. If we're looking down, we'll always stay at the same level. So this is maybe one way that we can increase our moral characteristics in society, is looking at the life of the Prophet, reading about the Prophet, and trying step by step, a very small way, and looking at how the Prophet led his life, and seeing something that maybe I can do, and then trying to implement it. And then we hear from the tradition that if I do something for 40 days, then it will become a part of me. So, and it will take small steps, but eventually small steps lead to a very big journey, and we're all on this journey of life, and we're all going towards death. So we try to make ourselves better before we reach that end point.
That is very well said, Brother Hussein. Thank you very much. We would like to inform our brothers and sisters that we are about to go for another short break. I would like to remind you the phone number for the donating line is 0203 5151 110. Our dear brothers and sisters, 0203 5151 110. Any of you who could call and contribute in the campaign Thirst for Change for fundraising for SafeerTV. It would be very appreciable because SafeerTV is in need of your support, dear viewers. And inshallah, when we return after our short break, we may continue our discussion with Brother Hussein Sulaiman and discuss furthermore about the holy personality of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.